mean, that's subjective to me because
No,
what
it's
you
actually
believe
not
what you, so
object.
what
What?
what you believe you're looking at. I don't know the size of that Earth. It's claimed to be a certain size, but how do I know I'm not looking at a
Like
picture of a
you're
So
literally
basketball
talking about
painted
combining
blue with
the
green
difference
land?
between, yeah, but you're talking about the difference between something that is
Yeah,
known to
Chuck,
be
Chuck, Chuck,
a
Chuck, Chuck,
generated
Chuck,
image
Chuck, Chuck,
versus
Chuck.
actual
Hold
video.
on, Chuck. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, they're doing like one
Um,
at a time.
so
Shishi,
Brandon,
Shishi did have next. Shishi, you want to give up your turn for Chuck?
I got a
Ooh,
question
give it up for
whenever.
Chuck.
Could
Dang,
I get
that's
in the queue as
exciting.
Well,
well?
Well, you know
I
what? I
think
will give
Concrete
it
should
up
get
for
a chance
Chuck
to respond to what I said. At
because
least.
Brandon already kind of said what I said. So yeah, I will give my chime in
Oh,
to Chuck. Yeah.
yeah, but
can
Brandon
I ask
isn't
But I
before?
don't think
answering
it's
my
fair to
Yeah,
question.
let Concrete
what
end the back and forth real quick before anybody else just
no,
go. Just real
can Brandon at least answer Concrete's question because I think they were getting right to it
Agreed.
before Chuck interrupted.
So Brandon, again, you're not answering the question. More scope or less scope? Which is to say, if I were to take a picture of an elephant, right, and if all were able to capture of that elephant was its left foot, that would be less scope than if I were to capture both or all of its feet, right, or its feet and its head, right, or if I were to capture its entire body from a 3D angle. So the
But that's
question
the thing. You
was,
don't capture the
is it
entire body
less?
of the
I
blue marble.
agree.
You see
Okay,
one
thank
half
you.
of the
All right.
claimed sphere.
So you no, not asking you about how much scope the blue marble captures. We already agreed it's not the same. Question is it less or more? And it seems like you're moving towards less. I just want you to confirm
I
it's less
can't say
scope.
less or more because we're
You
looking
can.
at. You're talking about. You said the blue marble. So the image that we have of the blue marble is so called the half of the sphere. So you don't see the scope that you're making it seem like, and then try to compare it to what I have as far as a high altitude image of the ground meeting the sky with a horizon line in the middle.
Yeah. So
So
again,
I don't
I think you're trying to.
I don't know honestly when they say to what scope that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think you're trying to muddy the waters. It's very simple.
I
When
disagree,
you
but I
tell
got
me,
you.
here, I'll
How is
explain.
it
No,
muddy in the
One
so
second,
waters?
sir.
Wait,
One
Majin,
second,
Yeah,
sir.
Majin,
Majin,
chill.
chill.
1 second, sir. So it's a very simple question. If you have a high altitude photo, what area are you able to observe in that high altitude photo? And at what altitude? Go ahead.
20 miles high, and it could be anywhere above any surface of the earth. It could be over an
The
ocean. It could be
photos that you
over the
have, what are you able to observe?
ground and sky. It sometimes looks like water or clouds, depending on where the
How much of the
high
earth can
altitude.
you observe?
How much
Yes.
area?
Yes.
I don't know. I have to
All
look
right,
at a
thank
certain
you.
number.
All right, thank you. So, why would you use that information as a method of debunking what NASA has been able to provide you?
Because NASA already told us that they Photoshop images. Robert
So what?
Simmons, who was the editor for their pictures, for specifically the Blue Marble, right, told us that it is Photoshop and it has to be.
So
So I
what?
don't believe in those photo images because they're doctored. Also, there's plenty
So
of
what?
footages of NASA lying about what they're being in space. Certain things as far as being on wire harnesses, augmented reality. We see a lot of different things. NASA
All
has
that
been
is
caught
irrelevant.
lying. So
All of that is
what I'm saying
irrelevant.
is that
How's
I
that?
don't believe the
How's
blue
that
marble
irrelevant?
I'll
photos.
explain.
There is
Um,
pictures and images from high altitudes, and also ground tests is what I was getting at as far as evidence of curvature, testing of the ground. Pictures can be doctored. I can show you a high altitude picture of a flat Earth with a flat horizon, and anybody can say I don't believe that. Right? Those are images. I'm talking about actual scientific tests that substantiate the Earth having curvature. So if I
Yeah.
wasn't clear on
So,
what I was asking as far as evidence, the evidence I'm asking for mainly is scientific evidence through testing and experimenting of the ground.
all right, great. So basically, you're saying you want to exclude the information provided by NASA, who has the wherewithal to actually see the Earth with their technology of going into outer space. And you're saying instead of
How
that
do you know the
information,
concept of outer space
one
exists?
second, sir, 1 second, sir, because we have photos of it. There's been,
Like
So you
we
gonna
y'all
believe
have,
agree
photos?
that
wait, one
Dr.
second, sir,
Oh,
one
we got it.
second,
My
sir,
fault. My bad. My
one
bad.
second, sir. We have the telescope, James Hubble telescope. We have photos. We have also corroboration from different agencies who discuss their travels into space. We have artifacts from the moon, so on and so forth. So the
You're
issue,
honestly making
the
a lot of claims
idea.
right now.
One second,
But
sir.
how is
One
that to be?
second, sir.
How do
I'm
you know
almost
that to
done.
be
I'm
true?
almost
Okay,
done,
okay.
sir. I'm almost done. So, the entire point is the evidence for space is well established. The evidence for flat Earth isn't well established. And so, when we talk about the blue marble versus your high altitude photos, we understand that one is limited in scope. So, since it's the case that the high altitude photos are limited in scope, there is no reason why you would use that as some form of debunking of the greater of the concept of a globe Earth when we have more information that supports the globe Earth than we do a flat Earth. And so, to point about your experiments, there are so many issues with regards to experiments, such that the construction of the experiment, the implementation of this experiment, and the interpretation of its results, where you have all these areas where you can be wrong and faulty, such that I wouldn't rely upon
Bro, you said you was
experiments.
almost done.
Wait, one
But
second,
you
bro.
could be wrong
One
and
second,
faulty
bro.
too.
One second, bro.
Like, come
Hey,
on.
One
Majin,
second, bro.
Majin,
It's a
let him
lot I gotta
talk.
respond to
Man,
though.
you're
It is a
killing me,
Yeah,
lot.
it
bro.
is a
You're
lot. It's a
killing me,
lot.
bro. Just
It's
chill.
a lot, but go ahead.
Hold on. So, it's not a lot. It's actually very simple. We have the picture of the blue marble versus photos of high altitude, versus high altitude photos, and we take the blue marble to be a superior bit of evidence. And then we have the blue marble versus his experiments on Earth. And I take the blue marble again to be superior for the reasons that I pointed out. Number one, the construction of your experiment. Number two, the implementation of your experiment. Number three, the interpretation of your results. I have all
Yo.
three of those areas where you can have error. So when I post the the blue marble versus whatever you want to experiment, those are the issues. Go ahead.
All right,
Well,
so
I'm
the real quick, Majin, because there's a lot to respond to. So,
Brandon,
the,
when you done, let me say one thing. I got you.
all right, so I think Chuck and Shishi were waiting. It looked like Chuck bounced,
There's
but
an
yeah.
interesting question in the comments.
Um,
Why do people like on the other side see a different night sky than we see here if the earth is flat? If we're all looking at the same
Wait, can
sky,
you let him deal
can
with
you
what I
explain
just
that?
said first before you get him to deal with something else? Because they're gonna get confused and it's gonna get muddied.
Well, how long is one conversation? And I'm not saying this to be contentious, just for
Look, you
clarity.
can let
How
Yeah,
long
try
is
to
okay.
one
let
All
him
right, hold
conversation
deal with
on.
this,
Hold
all
on,
right,
hold
and
on,
then
cool.
hold
move
on.
on.
I'm gonna
allowed
I'm gonna
Hold
close that because
on.
I gotta get back
Hold
to
on.
work real quick because I do
Yeah,
want to
Brandon,
engage
you
in the
gotta
conversation.
go. Yeah. All right, Brandon, you gotta go. So concrete, I don't want you to hold down the stage too long. I want to give other people the chance to ask
Yeah, can
questions and
Brandon
stuff like
respond to
that.
what I just said though?
Yes,
Right.
I got
Yes.
you.
Yeah, I had asked.
So I don't you say images of a blue marble, which we know to be Photoshop. I have images of a flat Earth, which you don't have to believe. You can say that's also Photoshop. But as far as the testing of the ground, yes, long distance observations, as far as us looking at things in the distance that are supposed to be below the horizon. Having a certain amount of curvature blocking them, like looking at mountains, tall buildings, or even people on the ground. We have mirror flash tests over water. We have laser tests over water and over land. Radar, radio wave propagation, and I think that's it. But as far as yes, those are all tests of the ground to let you know whether the Earth is curving or not at a certain rate of curvature. The Earth is said to be at 24,000 miles in circumference and 3959-mile radius. That is falsified through those long distance observations that I just mentioned. So yeah, I'm looking
and
for
we
the.
use y'all own fucking. I mean,
All
we
right,
use the
Majin.
So,
globes way
so you're
too.
gonna ignore
Real
the blue
concrete.
marble for
Real
that?
concrete. Hold
Oh,
on one second. Concrete, hold on. Majin, you want to get in? You want to get in the queue to have a discussion, but you got to hold on. All right, Concrete, you can't keep holding down the stage. Other
Yeah.
people want to ask questions. All right.
Bro,
And
listen, I'm not
also
trying
too,
to
if we
hold down
don't
the
get to
stage.
it,
Yeah. This.
When your man repeatedly dodges my point and pretend like he doesn't understand,
and
and then
I didn't dodge
present
anything concrete.
one
Come on,
second,
bro.
sir, and then they're constantly interrupting. You got other your homies side sniping. That's what elongated that entire fucking submission, right?
All right.
Pause.
What?
So,
So don't try to
You
put it
had a
on me.
whole fucking
It's
soliloquy.
okay.
Cry
Just
yeah,
more, bro.
just real
Cry
quick. I just
more.
want to say that
Majin.
if nobody answers G5 question, like Linnell, OG, or Majin doesn't answer a question, I would like to answer it. Like when it gets to her. That's all. I'm just. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
tag out for
This.
right now. I gotta get back to work.
This is Alan. Put me in the queue too, please.
Yeah,
I
but
would
hang.
like to be in the queue.
I had
I'm in the queue first. I said it a while ago.
I had asked to follow
Wait,
concrete.
wait. Is there a written queue? I'll put it in chat.
I had asked to
Is that?
follow concrete after he.
I had actually asked to follow up concrete.
Oh my god. Well,
Nathan, you should get the queue going. Nathan, you should
Yeah, that's
get
what
a
I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
let's get it. I'm gonna put it in the chat. What's the? Who wanted
I,
to? Who was
I
next?
wanted. I had asked to follow concrete.
I heard you. I heard you, JCC. I was actually invisible because he had a mental cue.
JCC, JCC was
Uh-huh.
up next behind Concrete. Brandon had to go. Chuck left.
Mm.
Oh, Chuck is here. All right, cool. Chuck is with JCC.
Yeah, you can take me out of it, man. I just want. It was a weak question before, so I'm out. I'll just listen.
All right,
Okay, I
cool,
put the
Chuck.
dude next.
And
All
Cool.
right,
Alan. No, I
And
was after
CC.
Ashley.
JCC.
Yeah,
Alan,
Shishi,
then
you wanted to
Ashley.
talk?
So is it
Shishi,
JCC
did
or
you
is it
still
the
want to
dude?
talk?
Yo, JCC, the dude Allen. Like, come on, bro. Take some
Go.
No, no, no,
initiative.
no, no.
JCC.
It's
Go.
Sheesh. No, this is what I got. I got Shishi, JCC.
Shishi.
Yep. The dude, then Alan, and then Ashley after that. Did I get that right? Is that good? I bet. It's in the chat. If you want to be added to the queue, copy and paste the chat. Put your name at the end of it.
Thank you. All right, JCC, you up.
No, I thought it was she.
I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. It was Shishi. Shishi, you're
Yeah.
up.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to the next person, which I think is JCC, just because I chimed in
Hey,
earlier
hold on.
about
Real
the blue marble
quick.
being the
Real
blue
quick. Let me
mar
take Shishi's turn.
the blue. I just wanted to say the blue marble was a doctored image, which should never weigh more than a real life photo. So I just that was a little bit crazy to me. But go ahead, Linnell. You can have my time. Thank
I
you.
could explain why that's like bad reasoning.
All
I'll
right,
put you in the
so
queue, Concrete. I'll put you after Ashley.
Thank you.
all right. I guess Linnell, you're up with JCC.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
talk to anybody who holds to a flat Earth model. My question is, using the flat Earth model, how do you explain that we see eclipses, both lunar and solar eclipses? Explain that, please.
yeah, Linnell, you wanted to talk?
Yeah, I'll
Any one of
answer
you
this
flat
question. I was
earthers,
just
can you
gonna say,
explain it? You should all be equipped to answer that question since you were so convicted that the earth is flat, right? It can't be based on
yeah.
nothing. You
N
guys should
word. If you
all
want to
be
talk,
equipped
step
to
in the
answer
queue.
that
All right.
question.
Can y'all hear me?
You
Yeah,
good,
answer.
Linnell? Go ahead.
Can y'all? I'm hearing multiple people.
You're
Yeah,
not
you
hearing
good,
Oh,
anything.
yo.
No one is
can y'all
talking.
hear
Go
me now?
ahead.
Yeah,
Go
we
for
can
it.
hear you. Go ahead, man. Yo, Linnell, can you hear us? We said you good.
Yeah. All right. So there's a couple of things. Um, when it comes to all right, cool. So I wanted to be very clear on because I'm gonna answer my man's clip question, and then I want to be very clear on what we're saying, right? What we're saying is that we base everything we say on the scientific method. Okay, so if you don't know what it is, you can easily look it up. You can even use Wikipedia. Seeing pictures of something is not a part of the scientific method,
Are you answering
right?
my question?
So I said I'm going to answer your question, sir.
He
No
didn't
problem,
answer the question.
He's not
sir.
going to either.
Yo, come
I
on,
Oh
for
said
my
real.
Let
No,
him.
God.
Let
no,
him do. Wait,
stop.
wait. Everybody, stop.
Yo,
Let him do. Even if it includes a ramble, just let him do the ramble as long as he
let him
answers the
do his
question.
thing. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
But just know we don't care about the
So
ramble.
when thank you, I appreciate that. So my point is, when someone, and this kind of goes to what Concrete was saying, talking to Brandon, when Brandon kept trying to say that, yo, we don't care about what pictures because pictures aren't science, right? We base what we say on science. That's it, right? And we have evidence, scientific experimentation that proves that the surface of the Earth doesn't have curvature. So pictures mean nothing. I can create pictures, right? Those images from NASA do not qualify as science. Somebody telling me something does not qualify as science. Only experimentation in the scientific method qualifies as science. Now to my man's question about eclipses. So eclipses are a real thing, right? We see them. We look up in the sky. We see
both the sun and the moon being occulted by something, right? We're told that those are shadows. This again goes back to what I was just saying. Somebody told us something. There is no evidence that those are shadows of the earth or the sun or moon or whatever the fuck. There's no evidence that shadows are responsible for eclipses. Okay? As a matter of fact, there's something called the Selenelian eclipse. The Selenelian eclipse, what they call the impossible eclipse, happens. It's a lunar eclipse that happens when both the sun and the moon are above the horizon. And that's impossible because supposedly during a lunar eclipse, the sun is supposed to be casting a shadow, right? It's supposed to be lighting up the earth so that the earth's shadow is on the moon. That's supposed to be what the lunar eclipse is. Okay, the Selenelian eclipse. During this at this specific place, you can see both the sun and the moon above the horizon, which is impossible. It totally debunks the idea that eclipses are caused by shadows. As a matter of fact, there are videos of people who go on these eclipse flights where they take pictures and videos, and during the flight they see other things in the sky traveling along with the sun and the moon. It could possibly be these things that are going in front of the sun and the moon. So to sum up, there is no evidence that eclipses are caused by shadows. As a matter of fact, the evidence says that it can't be caused by a shadow per the Selenelian eclipse. I'm done.
The eclipses occur when the sun is on one polar side of the earth and the moon is on the other, and the sun is being blocked, the light from the sun is being blocked by the earth, and that's what we see when we look at this lunar eclipse, and vice versa with the solar eclipse. That's what happens. I don't know what
Then explain the Selenelian.
May I
actually that does occur, where you actually see both the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time. There's no eclipse occurring there.
So no, it is. It's called a Selenelian
There's
eclipse.
what eclipse? There's no eclipse though. What are you talking about
It's
eclipse?
called a Selenelian eclipse, sir.
However, I don't visualize an eclipse in the sky that you're speaking of.
The Selenelian eclipse is a lunar eclipse. It's
It's a
just called
lunar
a
eclipse.
Selenelian based on the phenomenon that's happening at the moment.
No, during a lunar eclipse, we do not visualize the
We
moon.
talking about a Stellanellian. Like, do you
When,
not understand what we're saying?
Yeah.
when
Obviously
we
Hold on
talk,
not.
one
You're gonna
second.
have to explain
Hold
it.
on.
all I'm
Yeah,
saying
we're
is,
gonna have to go
Linnell
back.
had just explained it,
Listen.
right? So
Hold
all
on,
I'm saying is,
Selenelian eclipse
Brandon.
is a lunar eclipse. My bad.
when we see a
Yeah.
lunar
Yeah,
eclipse.
a solstice eclipse happens during a lunar eclipse, I believe.
So, but they're saying the sun can be visualized at the same time as the moon during a lunar eclipse. That's not possible,
Ye-
Well,
it's called the
that's
fucking
what happened.
Selenelian eclipse. That's literally what it is.
and
Bro,
that
just go
You
occurs.
look it
keep
up.
re-
It will
you
help you
keep
know
you
JCC,
your
keep
own mind.
repeating it, but you're
JCC,
not
be
explaining
quiet and
why
go
this
look it up.
phenomena
Go search it up.
like debunks globe Earth or
All
your
right.
model of
So
eclipses.
because supposedly, and he was correct when they tell you the heliocentric model tells you that a lunar eclipse occurs when the sun goes behind the earth and casts the shadow of the earth onto the moon. That's supposedly what a lunar eclipse is. And so, if I can see a Selenelian eclipse occurs when you see both the sun and the moon above the horizon, which means that the sun is not behind the earth. And yet the moon is being eclipsed. So it can't be the sun causing the shadow, quote unquote, of the earth on the moon.
And how does this prove flat Earth?
Again, this is not about what if the earth is flat. This is his question. I'm answering his question.
Okay, so you
And
so
so
you
what
brought
I'm
up.
proving, no,
Yeah,
what I'm
Yo, concrete.
proving,
Hold it down.
what
no,
I'm proving is that the eclipse is not being caused by shadows. That's
Yeah,
my
So
point.
it
yeah, but hang
doesn't
on.
prove flat Earth though.
I
Yeah,
have a question.
so
Can we
my
can we
question.
talk about gravity though? Like, is
Yeah, I was gonna
anyone
say,
got
Hang
a
on, my
distinct
Pocket,
question.
pocket,
well, no,
gravity
I'm
point at
next.
pocket,
when it
Oh, we
comes
have
pocket.
a
to?
queue.
Slide.
We have a
Hold.
queue.
Wait,
We
wait,
have a queue,
Come
wait,
on,
everyone.
wait. So they did not answer my my.
come on. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. All right.
Hang
You're
on, you
gonna
didn't
get
answer
your
my
chance to
question.
go. No,
You
no,
didn't answer my.
JCC. Hold on one
You
second. Hold
no,
on one
please let me get
second.
my point across.
No,
Yes,
let
you
him
Let him
are.
get his
You're
question
about
moderate.
out. Hey,
JCC,
let him
JC.
get his
let's be
question out.
quiet.
Yes,
Let him moderate.
Let him get his question out.
JCC
Go
is
ahead.
about to speak.
All right.
JCC is about to speak.
Hold
Please,
wait,
no
invisible.
one
Hold on,
interrupt.
wait, hold on. Invisible. Wait, real quick. I want to know. Are you saying I didn't address your question?
You did not answer. How do you explain the eclipses with flat Earth model?
Right. I
Yeah.
said we don't know 100% for sure what's causing the eclipse, but what we know, what we can prove, is that it's not the shadows that are being cast that's causing the eclipse. That's
Okay.
what I said.
So the
We
answer
can
is you're not
prove
sure, but you don't think it's a
the
shadow.
Oh,
well,
Is
we
that
can
fair?
Jesus
prove
Christ! You don't know, but you know
So,
what
we
it's
can
not, right?
so
That
you
makes
No,
no
exactly
no, no. Come
fucking
on,
Got it.
yo,
exactly.
Okay,
yo.
that's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
Get
Okay, so
fucking
Falsification is
let's
independent
go
of
on to the next
replacement.
person, please.
It's
Yo,
me.
please. Okay, but please, no one interrupt him, man. Let him make his point. We don't need no ad libs. Listen, we all know that a lot of people in here are white belts. Let's respect that. Go ahead, Digi.
All right, before I ask my question, I do want to point out in terms of evidence that it is a shadow, temperatures do drop during a solar eclipse. And that would be evidence that the light, the warmth from the sun is being blocked, right? So that is evidence that it's a shadow. Temperatures on the Earth's surface where there is a shadow being cast do drop. That's not my question. That's just a point in the side of it's probably a fucking shadow. Meanwhile, the question I wanted to ask is, and this, I believe you would call this science. These are observations. Anybody can do it. If you go to the North Pole at night and you do a time lapse of the stars, right, you will see the stars rotating around a single point, which is the North Star. And if you do that same time lapse in the southern hemisphere, the stars will rotate around a different central point, the south celestial pole or wherever you're at. So how can that happen if the Earth is flat? They seem to be rotating at different focal points depending on where you're located, northern or southern hemisphere.
All right, great question. And so just because I'm saying that that wasn't a shadow in front of like causing the eclipse doesn't mean that there was nothing occulting the sun. So whatever was occulting the sun, like I mentioned, there have been eclipse flights where people have seen other dark bodies in the sky traveling with the sun and
Okay,
the
well,
moon.
let's move out past
One,
the
bro,
past the
hey, I didn't
eclipse.
interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you, brother.
Well, that's
I
not
didn't
my
interrupt
question.
you.
I don't care
I
about the
didn't.
eclipse
Again,
anymore.
I'm gonna address your question.
Okay,
I didn't
something is
interrupt you.
causing a shadow, but it's not the sun,
Again,
not the
sir,
Earth.
We
again, I didn't say
reduced
Come
the
on,
so,
fast
Digi. You
levels.
did say he could
sir,
Also,
ramble.
it's other
Let
All
him
people
right,
that
ramble.
let
are
him. All
listening
right,
Go
all
too.
right,
ahead.
There's
all right,
other
all
people
Yeah,
right.
that
you
Go,
came
did
go,
off
say
go.
mic
that.
to
sir.
answer
Go
that.
ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all good. So again, you keep saying the word shadow. I'm saying something could be occulting the moon. It doesn't have to be a shadow. It can be another physical object that's blocking the sun or the moon's rays, causing your temperature fall. That's my point. Now, when it comes to your star trails, right? One, there's no Polaris in the south. There is no pole star, right? It wasn't until 2017 did they actually try to name a star Sigma Octantis, the a pole star? But that's really new when flat Earth fucking took off. But there is no southern pole star like there is for Polaris. None.
I didn't say there was.
Right?
I said that there's a focal
Mhm.
point,
No, there. And so what I'm saying to you is there's not. There's just an area that the stars kind of make a little thing,
and that's a focal
right?
point.
But it's
May,
so
may I add
there's
to that when you're done enough? I just want to add to it.
yeah. So the
No, we
thing
have a
is,
queue.
no, I'm answering the question. Like he's asking flat earthers questions. I'm the flat earther that's answering the questions. Like unless y'all just want 4 questions to go without a flat earther's
I
answering.
just wanted to add a tidbit to what he's saying to answer his question about the so-called circumpolar star, trails.
Go ahead.
My cock is blocking the sun.
No, all I was saying is that when it's looking at the star trails, right, this happens on both models, yo. As far as seeing the stars going in a certain direction, that happens on both models as far as looking up at the sky. We all look at the sky regardless of what we believe about the surface. So as far as A circumpolar rotation in the south is just a reflect for the explanation for a flat Earth is that it's a reflection of what's happening in the north. Supposedly, there's a firmament dome over
It's
our
a
head.
reflection?
Right. So this is a flat Earth explanation, right? So the flat Earth has a dome firmament over top of it, right? So it appears. I'm gonna finish up. Sorry, y'all. My bad.
Can someone explain the Coriolis effect?
The
Right.
skies are in
Wait,
motion.
wait, 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 wait.
Nah,
Before we
Nathan,
do that,
fuck
we
you.
do have a queue. We do have a queue. We do have a queue. Let's don't jump the queue. And word, I got you in the queue, bro. You
But
can ask that
but
question
also,
later.
I'm still
But I
waiting.
just want to know too. What do you mean by reflection? What is it reflecting?
Yeah, I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing here, or hear the
Yes.
answer.
Yeah. So let's to be very clear, the phenomenon that you're seeing, that you're talking about, occurs when you witness something like stars rotating through like a dome, like a glass dome. You would have the same effect where
But
it would
but
appear.
if I'm on a
No,
flat
I'm
Earth,
not. I'm not. Hold on, brother.
all
Hold on.
right,
I
all
got
right.
you. I got you. I got you. So what you're looking at are the stars being viewed through a dome, right? A dome is arched, and so the way that the light travels over it makes it look like it's arching around.
Celestial sphere is what it's
Right.
commonly referred to.
Right. So you're witnessing what light looks like as it fucking travels along the celestial sphere.
But let me just make sure I understand this, because if, again, depending on my latitude, the way that they move is different, which would suggest I'm looking at a different place in space if I'm on a globe. How does that account for if I'm flat, they would all rotate around the same central point all the time, no matter what my latitude is.
Right. So what you're thinking about is so there are two things at question here. One, the surface of the earth that we're standing on. That's what we're saying is flat. What
Right.
we're
And if
talking
it's
about in the
flat, it won't
sky, hold
matter
on,
where
wait,
my
wait,
latitude
brother,
is.
brother, I got you. What we're talking about in the sky is the dome, the firmament, the physical barrier that's over us that we can't get out of, and how light comes through it. And so what you're witnessing is the effect. It's a lensing effect of the light as it travels, as it's spinning in circles, right? As you see it through the dome, right? I can actually.
Just,
So tell you what,
let me make sure I understand one thing.
I'm going to.
Is the firmament to you transparent? So the light is coming from beyond the firmament. Is that correct?
It appears to be
It appears to be, and you're saying it's basically refracted through the firmament. And so rather than the Earth being the dome, the firmament is the dome, and that's what explains the refraction?
so it's not being refracted. You're seeing through it. That's not refraction. You're just seeing through it,
So
right? So
if it's transparent and there's no refraction, how do you explain again? If I'm what is rotating? Is the
the
is
stars are rotating. The
the
stars
stars are
are
rotating?
rotating.
We're not. So
Correct.
the flat thing is not spinning.
Correct.
There you go.
That's that I am not agreeing with this for the record.
I didn't
Well,
ask you
even some of
agreed.
your
I'm just
favorite
telling you what's
scientists says
happening.
that
Oh
even
my
your some of your
god.
favorite scientists say that you can't prove that it is the sky or the earth. There's no evidence that it's the other way around. There's no
Please stop
evidence of
saying
that
that.
using
Please
the
stop saying
scientific
that.
method.
Science does not prove things.
No,
Stop
no,
it.
no, no, no. See, this is the
NASA does
problem.
not
One
like
one
the
person
scientific method.
interrupts.
I
It
still
doesn't.
All right, sorry. When one person interrupts, everyone feels the need to interrupt. We have a
I
queue. People been waiting to speak. We
I
can let Digi
I'll
just finish the point
Well, he
after
was
I
at a
finish
loss for
making this
words.
statement. Okay, go ahead,
and
Digi.
okay, because I do want to respect that there's other people in the queue, and I'm sure we could go back and forth on any of these, the eclipse, this, and others. Um, and again, I'm trying to put together the mental model that explains the latitude problem. The latitude problem of stars rotating around different focal points is very easy to represent on a globe, and I don't quite understand the model that you're picturing or the model that you're painting on a flat Earth. So the Earth is
I'm gonna
flat.
drop you a
It's
link in the
not. Wait,
chat
wait,
so
wait.
you can
It's
see
not
it.
spinning. Wait, wait. It's not spinning. The outside things are spinning. But again, if I'm on a flat Earth, they should, no matter where I am on that flat thing, they would appear to be spinning around the same focal point. Whereas, again, if I change my latitude, they do not spin on the same focal point, and that's not explained on a flat space.
All right, I think Digi, that was good. Let's
All
go on
Yeah.
with
right.
the
Hey, I'm gonna
queue. I
drop you a link
believe
in the
it's
chat, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let them know. Drop the link, and then we're gonna move on in the queue. I believe Alan was up. I'm noticing that there's no anyone from Flat Earth FEG in the queue up until who was it?
Yeah, so
Why do you think
forgive me.
that is?
So it looked like to me, our people were taking turns engaging with any
Right,
of the so yeah, so they I wouldn't say that your people necessarily need to have a turn in queue so much as everyone in queue is waiting to speak
right,
with anyone who's willing to engage
right.
from
And that's
Hey
what I
any
was.
of
Nathan, I
the
swiped left by accident.
That's what I was going to get at. Since Alan is next, he can ask whatever questions he asks, and anyone from the Flat Earth side, that is pro Flat Earth, can answer his questions. And I don't want everyone to jump in, so everyone can be heard. All right.
Okay, thanks. Thanks. So I have a few questions. Um, uh, and the first is I assume that people who from this group that you meet regularly or there are groups where you discuss these ideas, et cetera, et cetera. Would that be correct? Uh, yes, no.
Yeah.
So my question is, what, and any one of you can answer, is what do you get emotionally and in terms of your self-image and self-esteem from belonging to these groups and believing in these theories? And if someone could show you that you could get the same kind of emotional payback and self-image from a different kind of belief system concerning the earth and the stars and everything else, would you be willing to entertain that possibility?
All right.
That's my
So
question.
great question. Great question. Okay. So I want to make it very clear. Um, all of us here today saying that the earth is flat, we started off thinking that the earth was a globe, right? All my life, I've been a science dude. I've been a space dude, Neil deGrasse Tyson dude, Cosmos, all of that shit. What I value among all else is truth, right? I became a flat earther by trying to prove that the flat earth was stupid. And the more I researched and I learned and I engaged the science, what I found is that what I believed to be true was false. I have more problems in my life now that I know the truth, right? So I don't get anything. It takes more things from me. The only thing I get is I get more knowledge in search of the truth, in search of answers. So us getting together to have conversations about science and about the earth and about the reality of the world that we live in is not about belonging to anything, because that ain't shit. We get together because we're all in search of the actual truth. Like, we like engaging in scientific discussions. We like looking into science. We like learning. Like, I'm a nerd for real. And so this isn't about feelings, right? This causes a lot of problems. But the fact of the matter is, I don't give a fuck about problems. I care about truth. And my ego is in check enough to where when science says something that my belief system disagrees with, I let go of the belief and I engage the science. And I challenge everybody here to do the same. I'm done.
Would anybody else like to answer that question? I mean, nobody has to. I'm just, before I close out my segment of it, I'm asking that. Um,
Yeah,
and I'm sorry. Go ahead. Or, well, I didn't hear you.
yeah, no, thanks for giving us the floor. I was gonna, not speak. Linnell summed it up so well, but I just want to discourage people from thinking. See, the reason why Flat Earth became a name is simply to be in opposition to what NASA has presented, labeled as evidence, right? So it's not about it. I mean, a lot of people on this side also believe that you can't define the Earth, right? And a lot of us also, I don't want to speak for anybody. We can all come off the mic and speak for ourselves, but the earth can't necessarily be defined. We don't have a model. Flat earthers don't say, oh, we're this floating through this and that. We are only in opposition to what is being declared facts through the scientific method. But then when you use the scientific method, you can see that a lot of this stuff doesn't add up. So I would just discourage people from thinking of flat earth as a group that you join to have a good time, or it's none of that. It's just objectively there's no no solid evidence that you can prove through the scientific method that proves curvature. And you could be a garbage man, you could be a librarian, it doesn't matter. It's not this thing, this group that you join. It just either is or isn't. The science is either there or it's not. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I didn't mean to imply that people were just joining it because, hey, let me join a group. Um, the only thing I would point out is what suddenly came to mind is I there was once this article about the greatest screw ups in rocketry and things like that, and one of the or programming, and one of the mistakes was that when the scientist did the calculation, he indicated the average of pi, which had there's a symbol for that in math, but the programmer did forgot to put the average of pi. So when the rocket took off, instead of it, the guidance system doing things smoothly, it was going from one extreme to the other, and the rocket ended up crashing. Um, yes, I understand all your issue with the pictures and the data and everything else. But I would just point out that pi is a symbol used to calculate circles, and that when NASA is calculating the trajectory of rockets and things like that, when airline pilots, if you've ever flown on an airplane, are calculating their routes, that those calculations, which are based on rotation.
Wait. I'm sorry, Alan. One mic, one mic. Invisible, did you remove Louis?
Yeah, Louis was kicked. This
Why would
What?
discussion is
you?
Why? What
stupid.
did Louis do?
Invisible,
Why the fuck would you
we
Why did that?
literally, wait,
motherfucking
hold on,
retard?
one mic.
I'm
We literally
sorry.
said
Why
he
did
didn't.
that need to be brought up right in the
Alan,
middle
because
Because
of?
it's
it's against the
important,
rules of
Alan.
the
No,
room.
Alan, hold on, because we don't kick in this room. We have three rules. Three rules. You do not call women bitches unless you're gay. You do not threaten
What?
people,
Even if you're gay, what the
or
hell?
even if you're, well,
If
that's
you're a
our
woman,
rules
you're a
here.
woman. If you're a woman,
Yeah,
or
if
if
you're a
you get
woman or if
It
you're
either.
doesn't matter.
gay.
We don't need to go over the rules. Why was he kicked? Was there a reason?
Yeah,
He's been
Invisible,
quiet.
I told you he was not allowed to be kicked, bro. You literally asked me and Nathan, can he be kicked? And I said no, and you still did it. I don't
Cause he's a
understand.
So
bitch. That's why.
what constitutes
He
offensive
didn't
in
even
here?
do
Because
anything.
Who
he
gives a
did
Like,
use
fuck?
the N
Who gives a
word
fuck?
towards me. He did use the N
Invisible,
word
I guess it's
towards
that's
time
me.
to reset the
we so
room.
hold on, Invisible. We need to have what's called emotional
Nah.
discernment, right? If someone's in the chat talking shit, it's called ignoring them. A lot of people call me names in the chat. They call me all this stuff. I ignore them, right? It's not his fault because you reacted to what he said. Have that emotional discernment and not react. Let him talk to himself in the chat.
Anyway,
We
so
don't remove in this room. We just
it's
don't. Now
a
we got to
free
start a
speech
whole new fucking room.
space. There's very few limits on the freedom of speech here. So my apologies if that wasn't clear early on. But yeah, we typically don't kick people unless it's like a credible threat of violence, and even then, most of the time they'll just get removed from the stage, and the chat will be closed if people attempt to like drop addresses or things of that nature, because none of us want to be responsible for like material harm to anyone else. But yeah,
I agree with you guys.
yeah.
I agree with you guys, and I'll say this: there's no if we're gonna say you can't offend anyone, but then just say only these people are allowed to not be offended, then that's not right.
No, but
I
I
Wait,
think
don't
they
I
said
don't normally.
verbally,
hold on.
not
Let
in
him,
the
let him
visible.
speak.
No, hold on.
Let him speak. We Let him speak. scrutinize Hold on.
Nathan
Let him
all the
speak.
time.
Let him go. Let him go.
Hold on. So yeah, I normally don't kick nobody from the room. We'll go back and forth. I don't care. That's the type of person I am. But he did cross the line, and that's why I kicked him. All right.
But
What
didn't
line
you
did he
ask me?
cross?
Hold on. Didn't you ask me in the chat if we were allowed to kick him and I said no?
Yes, I remember.
And you kicked him
Yes,
anyway, right?
yes, I did.
What if I
Kick
came
this
into your
nigga.
room and did that shit?
I can kick this nigga.
No, I'm not gonna
Oh
kick him
no!
because that's
Listen,
against.
listen. We didn't even have to. I'm making a new room. Put it in the chat. We all go to the new
You
room.
do that again,
That's it.
Yeah.
Invisible, I'ma fuck you up,
And
bitch.
don't mod this clown
Oh
anymore.
my
Fuck
god.
this guy.
You see? So now the person that just
Nah,
said that is supposed to
fuck
be
that,
kicked,
bro.
right?
No,
Louis
invisible.
one of
No, he
us,
didn't
Nah,
bro.
break
nigga.
any
That's
Louis
not a
one
rules,
of
credible.
bro.
That's
us.
not a credible threat.
Whoop
Louis
No.
your
one of
ass,
us.
nigga.
See,
I'ma
Mod,
kick
that's
your
my
ass,
point.
yo,
nigga.
man, like,
But I don't want to make
Kick
this
listen,
me,
about me. I
listen,
don't want to
pussy.
make it
Nathan,
about me.
don't,
I'm not going to kick nobody no
Kick
more.
me,
All right,
don't run
pussy.
that's
into
it.
respect
You
like
don't
that.
That's
get
Kick
to
me,
it.
be
Can we
pussy.
That's
move
because
be
you're
a
on?
not going to
mod.
be a mod anymore.
Kick
You
me,
shouldn't be a
pussy.
mod.
I don't
You
mind
you're
him
Kick
being
supposed
a
to have
mod
me,
to
respect for
Nah,
represent the
people.
pussy.
flat
fuck this
earthers. I
guy,
don't mind that
bro.
at all, so long as he knows we
Yeah,
don't
fuck
Nah,
kick
this
people
Louis
like
one
nigga.
of
that.
our people.
Fuck
Fuck
this
this guy.
nigga.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
took
Kick.
advantage.
Okay, okay. Listen, man. Listen, we got a big stage. We got a big room. People want to engage with people who believe in the flat Earth. We're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do is just make a new room. We'll get everyone back into this, back into the room. We'll start over again. Listen, the rules are set. Listen, I just want to say this as a moderator. Look at yourself as a police officer, right? You listen. People gonna respect you. People don't. People are gonna disrespect you. Once you pull out your weapon and you start waving it and shooting people who disrespect you, you're in the wrong. All right. Um,
A young
let me
black
make
A
this
man
room.
pussy
shot
man with a
down.
badge, Nathan. A pussy man with a badge.
Okay, well, anyway, Nathan, make the room. I'll come get the link, and then we'll do a smooth transfer where we will start fresh with the argument. I'm home now.
Yeah, and
Oh, that
Charlie, make
sucks.
sure.
this whole conversation couldn't have waited 60 seconds for me to finish.
Alan, the world
Oh,
doesn't revolve
I
around
think
Nope,
it
you.
was
I'm
no one
sorry.
Well,
enough.
This whole
cares.
pocket,
the
Hey,
now,
round
that's
table
hey,
pocket,
that's
doesn't
what
revolve
happens.
around you.
Hey, that's what
yeah,
happens when you take
pocket,
too long to talk,
couldn't
bro.
have,
Speed it
He's
up
a
you,
next
pussy
you
time.
man.
couldn't
Speed
have,
it up
Alan,
next
if it
time.
happened to you, we
you
would have done the
could,
same
Speed
thing.
it up
no,
next
So
time,
no,
buddy.
I,
no,
I
no,
wouldn't
yeah,
blame
Come on,
so,
pockets.
pussy
I
man.
wouldn't blame pockets.
there
yeah,
are very few
yeah,
Your
you
instances
Mike
where
is a
couldn't
you
have
can
chichi
take
man.
from
waited,
yo,
you
He's
just
a
why
couldn't have
chichi
everyone
man.
being
respect.
fucking
waited
autistic?
60
Why is
Yeah,
everyone
seconds.
being autistic,
yeah.
man?
All
Make the room, Nathan.
Greek
It's
food
Alan, we're
is
starting a new room.
overrated.
You're gonna be the first to speak. Don't worry, love. You're not
Baba
going anywhere. You're
ganoush
not
No,
dying. We're
that's
still here.
is
okay.
Everyone's
gross.
here.
That's okay,
We're okay.
Pocket.
He's a
You
You'll
chichi
be the
man.
accomplished
first to go
what
in the
They
new
you
room.
they
wanted to
fucking they
do,
wrap
Pocket.
food in grape leaves.
Yeah, you accomplished what you wanted, Pocket. That was intentional. I get it.
He's a
Thank
chichi
you.
man. He's a
Alan,
chichi
I
it's
don't
man.
not
think
an
Pocket
attack
Alan
I
towards
mean,
Alan. I
you,
don't think
okay,
Pocket
bro.
was thinking about you.
you guys are
Yo,
You
very,
would
Mike.
have done the same
He's a
if you
whole
got
pussy
kicked out,
one.
Alan.
yes, correct, but
Hey
we
man.
probably could have waited until, like,
Yo,
we
Tally,
were done
stop defending
No,
the
speaking.
man, they
pussy
can't
man.
come in here and fucking kick
No,
people out.
no, yes, correct. We do. But also,
Don't mute me.
to the one of the vanity mods, she found an opportunity to be useful for once, and she had to jump on it.
Here
Okay, so I
are
get it.
some things
Pussy
that are
man.
Anyway,
gross
He's a
about Greek
pussy man.
cuisine.
we
They
don't
have
need
Yo,
to.
something.
Deji, you gotta stop
Hey,
the
oh,
disrespect,
shut
bro.
the fuck up about
I will
Greek
fucking
cuisine. We don't
disrespect
give a
Greek food.
fuck.
You gotta try Armenian dolma, not the fucking Greek shit. They
Yeah,
use too
I'm
much
telling you,
random olive.
I agree. Greek food is trash. Listen to this. They have something called terra masalata, and it's fish roe dip.
He's a pussy man. You hear him?
You telling me you don't like roe?
Gyros are fire, dude. Fuck is wrong with you?
Euros.
Gyros. I'm from Chicago, dude.
Oh, you a pussy
Gyros.
man from the hood.
Yes.
Room
Gyros.
link.
And they fire.
He said
With
yes
tzatziki
to the pussy
sauce.
man.
From the
All
hood
right,
too.
all right. Thank you. On to the next room.
Tally.
Click the link up top.
What's your
Shut.
pum pum size?
Yo.
What's your pum pum size, guy?
You know what? You're disgusting and annoying, and I'm back home so I can cuss you out. Don't make me. Okay.
Let
The
me see your
link
chichi
above so
man
that we
now.
can
Where's
continue
the new
this
room?
really.
Oh, I see it.
Oh my god. Even you, did you?
They're tired of the pum pum.
Even
They're tired
you?
of the squeeze.
Okay. Click the link. I'm so glad. Like, this has been really fun. I'm glad that we sort of found like a medium where we can all communicate. And I'm
Chichi
personally so,
man, yeah.
go to the new room, Lucifer. Go now. You too, Abdil. Yeah, click the link. I'll be
Come on,
closing
man.
this.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Click the link. We'll be transferring.
Me
Oh
I
my
go.
God. Thank you. So this room will be closing in about 60 seconds.
Tell me
Get
what
over
happened.
there.
Someone got kicked out.
It doesn't matter. Click the link.
Where is the link to the new room?
It's right up top, right above my head.
Thank you. Click the link. This room will be closing in about 30 seconds. Concrete, I know you're awake and you're just being obstinate. Like, you probably want to be the last person in the room just so you say you was the last person in the room and you didn't do what I said because you're a fucking asshole. Look at you being a dick. Anyway, if you're not a dick, click the link up top. Go back. Go. Click the link. It's fun over there. You'll love it. I promise. But actually, I don't promise. I don't like breaking promises, but it is fun. I know it's fun. You'll probably think it's fun. Click the link. This room is closing in 10, 9, 8, 7. Click the link up top. 6, 5. Click the link, please. 4, 3. Click the link. 2, 1.